Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my little channel on the internet here on YouTube called Fitter Philosophy. On this channel I generally discuss practical experience-based stoic stuff. Basically as an older, more mature guy who's kind of hanging in there and doing okay. I just want to kind of share my life experience with you so as that you get a different perspective, an alternative view, which is hopefully going to help you make any adjustments or recalibrations that you feel you need to make in life. And hang about, could you excuse me a second? Oh my, here comes trouble. Hiya. Hi, big fluff. Come here, you. I've got a visitor. This is Billy. Billy is a big, intelligent, moggy tomcat, aren't you? I tell. And if I don't let him in the greenhouse, he'll just meow and meow and meow and completely disrupt the video. Won't you, sweetheart? Because that's what you do. Because you're a big, intelligent tomcat and you know how to manipulate humans. He's very good at it. Aren't you, sweetie? Anyway. See this kind of sharing practical tips and advice. It's really quite important. And something I want to share with you is something that I learned later in life, and I was clueless when I was younger. And that's particularly, well, it applies globally, but particularly in colder countries. Either southern altitude or northern altitude countries. So it could apply if you're in the south, it would apply in Argentina or in New Zealand, and certainly if you're in Antarctica. But if you're north, it would apply to most of Scandinavia, northern Russia, Britain, Iceland, Greenland and Canada. And the fact is that we are affected by the seasons that we inhabit. And during the summer months, particularly, and it becomes more noticeable when you're in part of the planet which is dramatically affected by seasons, you will find that your sense of well-being and general health is greatly heightened when the days are long and the nights are short and the temperatures are a little bit higher. Whereas in winter times, you will find that when the nights are long, the days are short, and the temperatures are distinctively lower and more unseasonable, more uncomfortable, that we tend to want to spend more time indoors and we tend to want to do less. When we're younger, we've got the natural immunity and capacity to kind of bulldoze on through it, so we don't really think too much about it, because when we're young, we're naive and far less experienced in life. But as we get older, we really start to notice this gradually. It is because we are changing as we get older. We start to get a little bit weaker, and therefore we've got to get a little bit smarter so we can adjust to recognize our weaknesses and work around them to make them strengths. It's the way it goes. And something I've been able to do, because I'm kind of semi-retired now, I'm still working, I've got various jobs that I do, but the time's a bit more flexible, and I find that my general level of health and avoiding colds and flus and viruses are greatly elevated during the winter time, when would tend to be most susceptible to them, by the fact that I just spend a bit more time of the day in bed. I go to bed earlier, I sleep longer, and I get up later in the morning, and I tend to also plan less. Excuse me, what's going on here? Oh, I've got a collapsing leaf here. I've got a banana palm providing a little bit of a taste of the exotic, which is fine during the summer. It's all very exotic. But in the winter time, it gets a little bit more sad. But hey, it's when we observe nature, we are in fact observing ourselves. When we look at nature, it kind of does less in the winter months. Trees don't grow, plants don't grow. They do sort of semi-hibernate. Domestic pets semi-hibernate, but humans don't, because we're so conditioned to be going out as productive economic units and putting in the same effort and the same commitment no matter what time of the year it is. And it's fine during the summer when we've got more resilience, but during the winter, it's less so. At this point, if we can't change our working environment and our commitments to our job, because we need the income to pay the bills and tax, then what we have to do is adjust our social time, and therefore do a little bit less physical activity. If you're going to the gym, for example, just take an extra day off between workouts if you feel you need it. Interesting listening to the podcasts of particularly the natties, the natural, non-enhanced, non-steroid taking bodybuilders. They tend to, one of the great skills that they develop over time is pacing things out. So knowing that if they work quite intensely for 2 or 3 days, they take at least 2 days off. So they may be doing no more time in the gym than 5 to 6 hours a week spread over 4 days. And this is not unusual, and yet they're getting good productive gains from it. And this is where, in tandem with recognising how we need to adapt to the seasons around us as they come and go, we need to adapt to ourselves and listen more to our body. And a good way of doing that is to, when we're feeling a little bit down and depleted, is just actually take time out and not rush to the pharmaceutical or the drugstore to get some preparation for which we are probably being seriously overcharged by big pharma to consume, and then we can pretend we're actually fine now because we've masked the symptoms, and therefore we must be better. There's a lot of people doing themselves damage because they try and push on through when they're depleted due to any viral infection. All right, it could be a physical injury, it could be a strained muscle or a damaged elbow joint or tendon or ligament, and trying to recover super quick to get on with it. And you find that employers are very, very unsympathetic about this. And yet, when the employers actually rack up the cost of replacing and retraining staff, perhaps they shouldn't be so clumsy, short-sighted, and actually quite stupid. You know, your member of staff is like any other asset. It's going to last longer if it's looked after better. It's not rocket science. And that's really all I have to say for the moment. Thank you for watching.